matchup as we start up on Golden Aura, a big map, maybe for a big game, question mark. In the bottom right-hand side, our Blue Protoss player is MaxPax. He needs to win 2-0 if he wants to get first place in the group, although a 2-1 will secure him second place instead of a third place finish if he loses the series. That means that Rogue needs just a single map, and he will be first place of this group. So all Rogue needs is a map, and he's all good. Of course, at the time this was played, these guys did not necessarily know that, so they are playing for the victory in any which way possible. Golden Aura, game number 1. Got us all set up here, already a hatchery down over on that left-hand side. And just the first Overlord moving across the map. Probe from MaxPax is across scouting as well. We'll follow that around as it nibbles away and causes some trouble in the very early stages. Will I be a caster in Saudi Arabia or just online? I will not be a caster. Saudi Arabia. Leave that to you. Figure out what that means. Probe drone gonna move each other around a little bit as we just have ourselves the hatch in the pool coming online, getting set up here for a couple of moments. Again, this probe just trying to be a little bit annoying, but such is the way of early game PvZ. This just gets to come across. Very excited for this matchup. I mean, to me, MaxPax should absolutely beat Rogue. But Rogue, the last... So, I guess if my opinion of this was built like a week or two ago, I think MaxPax should beat Rogue. But the last couple weeks, Rogue has really started popping off a little bit more once again. Have you seen an Overlord moving forwards out the front a little bit? Stargate coming up, Ling speed is on the way. The Lings, Queens, and drones continuing to come through. I don't care who wins, we hope we get 3 games. I mean, yeah, me too. Like I say, I kind of felt as though, yeah, I kind of felt as though, like I say, recently, I kind of felt as though Rogue's leveled up a bit, and maybe he can take this to 3 games, whereas like a couple weeks ago I would have said MaxPax, 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 you know? So, yeah, I'm very excited for this, super excited to see what turns out. MaxPax looked pretty convincing against Young Yakov, that was a pretty comfortable series earlier. Rogue looked really good against Classic as well, though, to be fair. I think Classic did not play to his 100% in that series, but Rogue took full advantage of it and made himself look great, taking full advantage. Steps pulled back, 2 drones go down, not a bad start from MaxPax to nip a couple of workers right from the get-go. Ling speed and a few more drones on the way up here as MaxPax will be pulling back with some adepts. 3rd hatchery is on the way, and our early game really has continued to establish into something that is just so very normal. The supply block is currently stopping the Oracle from building though, so a slight misplay there. I don't think that's an intentional supply block at this point. That was a very long supply block. If it was intentional, I don't really think it would be, but... Gonna see how Ling nibbling that Oracle is coming through. A couple more adepts continue to fight. These Lings continue to go down. 2 drones, 2 probes. Yeah, nice to see the Lings getting some value. 1 more Ling goes down as they did get at least one of the adepts though. So 1 adept does fall during this. And again, a couple of queens. With more drones continue to come back up into play. At this point in time, still bringing that through. Queens coming about the front. Nexus coming in. Pylons and assimilates coming through also. And those spores coming up, and the drones are on the way. The Queen is popping out of this main base very shortly. The double Oracle is going to come around the top side as well. Just going to come straight through and hit this main base where Oracles will activate in for 2, 3, 4 workers. That ain't a bad start at all. Again, Twilight Council and Forge continue to build. The gateway builds on the front as well. And we'll see just what we play here, because this is a map where it's quite open, so you can play some of the charged kind of styles. However, it's also quite a sizable map, so sometimes you kind of look at that and say, well, actually the Blink Stalker stuff is just so much better for me here, so that may be the option taken instead. As Blink and +1 both come through on the side of MaxPax, getting those up and underway. A couple of Adepts are going to come shading by. The Oracle's still moving around the back. The Adepts going to go in and commit through for 1 drone, 2 drone. 3 drones dead as the Oracles are participating as well. They get 1 of those as they fly through the back of that mineral line. This Oracle pulls back over, getting rid of a creep tumor now. Still seeing the +1 and Blink coming up. 3 additional Stalkers on the way. On the bottom side, it's a couple of Lings that kind of run through and they get turned around quickly by the Stalkers as well. The Oracle comes back out over to the far left-hand side. Stasis Ward. That's denied. Nice from Rogue, just getting the single Queen, and then a few Lings getting there. Pick that off. That's nice. Den from Rogue pretty swiftly, playing straight into the missile upgrade as well, not stopping off at any Ling Bane or anything like that. It's just Lings into Hydra's Infestation Pit. This might be quite a rush, just straight toward Lurkers out of Rogue. Play straight at Lurkers, take the gases very quickly, and just try and already kind of play for that macro-focused game on a map that is got a lot of very defendable bases. The only question mark there is, do you let MaxPax get away with too much? If you just go straight at Lurkers, and does that not encourage MaxPax to just build up an even better army straight away as well? Things move back around the right-hand side. Next, still building here from MaxPax. Those Lings come back through the center. Hatchery coming up on the 4th base. More Lings start to move forwards. Away they go. Let's continue down the bottom side. As the Oracle activates, a couple of Lings taking shots. See those Lings going to come back towards the upper left. Well, we do have Stalkers here, and they're going to get a Stasis Ward to help them from being surrounded. Blink available, so MaxPax can get off of creep. We will have Oracles able to activate, but 2 of the Stalkers getting caught already. It's not much. Sorry, bless me. Not much we could really do to stop that. Lurker Den finishing soon, the Hive coming in, 15 more Hydras, 16 more Hydras still in production as well. Make it 17, why not? Oh, Crab Beetle chilling around, and more of this army of Rogue is still figuring out what it would like to do. A few more Zealots. Just gonna get warped in, jump into that Prism Stalkers. And the Archon moving forward, and these Lings going to try and get forward here as well. Stasis Ward coming up, and should just go off on a handful of these Zerglings, which will also kind of block the Hydras a little bit. Obviously, then the Hydras have to path around the Lings. It becomes a bit tougher to just kind of move straight on through. Storm +2 still on the way. Charge as well coming up right now. We actually have ourselves the Seismic Spines coming up on that Lurker Den. The few Lings turn back around the other direction. Queen's going to gather together. Hydras will play a little bit of a split up. And Hydras back up to the top. That Stasis Ward coming through. Hydra's here going to go nibble at some of these Zealots. The Zealots taking a little bit of damage as well. Again, that Seismic Spine's going. Adrenal Gland's coming up. Hydra's still coming through. The Changeling on the Watchtower. As we continue straight to those Lurkers, like I say, MaxPax, second Stargate just came online, +1 air weapons already building. This is my concern for Rogue. I feel like by just doing this straight away, not really putting any pressure on earlier, you're kind of just saying to MaxPax, right, you build your army, I'll build mine, and in those circumstances, I almost always prefer the Protoss army. I feel like there's just so much more going on for it. Usually the power of the Lurkers is like, oh, you put on some pressure, you keep the Protoss held back, they're just about hanging on in there, struggling to maybe keep some tech units alive, and boom, the Lurker switch happens, and you get some really good positions, you can do a lot with it. I always feel like that's such a powerful part of it. That said, it's not like the carriers are ready right now. We actually canceled the carriers to build Tempest instead, so MaxPax goes for a more immediate response. And to be fair, the speed of the lurkers is still pretty commendable here as they try and play on the low ground, and they'll just be setting up. Can obviously start picking through some of these structures. First storm comes out from MaxPax straight away. Another stasis up that high ground as well. Stasis catching. We see some Zealot Archon counter-attacking on the top side. That's cute and all, but Rogue has left units defensively, so it's not just going to be a barren defense. He will have the units he needs to make sure that that is looked after at the moment, as these Tempests are going to begin to move through. Just going to work our way through a couple of lurkers already. More Zealots and Archons over here. These Archons are actually going to be in trouble straight away now, as the Lings and Hydras will look for the wraparound on them. First Archon down, second Archon killed. And Zealots over here as well, also going to get picked off, as they will also drop. Lurkers burrowing, and that will be that for the moment. Things back down the bottom side. Spire's going to be finishing from Rogue in just a second. So we get the Spire online as well. Lurkers still moving back across the right. A few more Tempests about to finish up also here. Stasis Ward will catch a few of those Lurkers straight off the bat. Archons come up. We will see these couple of Archons taking damage. One Archon down, the other Archon dead. On the bottom side, our Lurker Hydra Force is still pushing through. A cannon goes down. So these Immortals, etc., want to kind of move through as well. Another Storm comes into place. I'm just going to come back over. One Lurker already got killed here. Let's continue to fire it up, and we'll get rid of one more Lurker right now. Seeing our Tempest continue to come through. A couple of cannons are building. And just coming up. Let's see our Tempest firing. A couple of Lurkers taking shots. We will get pushed away to that left-hand side. Carriers, Corruptors, +1 flyer attack. Continue through, +3 missiles as well. Corruptor's going to come chasing these Tempests down. Obviously, Rogue getting a good Corruptor count up because he needs to be able to come through and chase these Tempests, and he needs to be able to shut those down. He commits to this. He's going to get rid of all the Tempests. He ate some Storms, gets rid of the Oracle too. The Corruptor's still healthy. They're going to be like, wait a second, we can go do more. This Carrier's Rogue. He doesn't realize it. He turns around now. He'll get one of them, maybe even both still. The Lurkers are pushing through on the bottom side, trying to get into that third base. That is the commitment for both Carriers. In the end, no, we lost too many Corruptors though. Second Carrier just survived. Super Battery to the rescue, plus some Storms and other units that were killing off. Now, that's a shame. If he'd noticed earlier, he would have been able to get both of those Carriers. That would have been great. There's now 30 new Corruptors coming up. These Lurkers honestly getting good trades. Every High Templar dies here. The base goes down. I mean, Rogue is going to kill off a lot of MaxPax's army. Well, MaxPax will kill off everything that Rogue has. Rogue is already rebuilding. New Corruptors, Lings, and Hydras all on the way, and a Great Aspire, so you can switch the Corruptors into Broodlords should the situation arise. That switch up from one to the other is necessary. Usually if the Corruptors play cleanup, the follow-up moment, you do kind of want to then move in towards the Broods. Otherwise, you've just got a bunch of Corruptors that are kind of sit around not doing much apart from Caustic Spraying, which can usually only find so many opportunities anyway. Corruptors get there. That's actually going to be a nice denial in the bottom corner. Mothership goes down. So no sneaky recall business or anything like that as Rogue sets up the Spine Crawler set up to the top to try and play defense. More Interceptors firing through. Hydra's getting chased away. 2 more Nexus, 3 more gates, couple of Mortals, and plus 3 air weapons still coming by. We see a few drones going down as Zealots are just all over on that top side. A couple of those spores getting picked off as well. Just still moving about as the Ling is coming around the right-hand side. We're going to go over here and pick up on a Zealot, so Zealot will go down as well. Lurkers burrowed up, and then X is going to be taking some pretty serious damage. It's going to go down again, so another base denial from Rogue. Now, carrier count is growing, mind you, and the higher the carrier count goes, the better I feel for MaxPax in a game like this. That was a nice storm off that high tempo just before it died, got a lot of lings. $60 minutes DP on Golden Ore. Who's winning? That's a fantastic question, isn't it? I don't actually really know. I mean, Rogue setup is pretty good. 5, 6 bases, going towards base 7 on the gold. MaxPax limited to just the 4, but MaxPax's army always has that potential to just overwhelm and just win out anyway. So I like where it's going for Rogue, but it's a fight away from going wrong. I would like to see Rogue with a couple more spellcasters. He has none. A couple of Infestors, a couple of Vipers goes such a long way helping against an army like this. I don't think Rogue can win any more major fights if he doesn't have spellcasters added in, and that might just be the problem. If he takes a major fight, MaxPax smashes him because he has no spellcasters, the bank doesn't matter, because then MaxPax is going to be on top of your base and killing things as they spawn. You're never going to get time to recover anymore. More changelings go down. Ling's going to go out to the left-hand side. Going to find a couple zealots there. Lucas Burrow for a, well, very effective set of pickoffs. It's going to be seen our Archons continuing through. A couple of Lings getting picked up. Hydras will get jumped on as well. It really comes down to whether, again, this one army of MaxPax is going to be able to get the job done. It's absolutely possible. It's absolutely plausible. Three extra zealots coming in, a couple of carriers coming about. We setting up on the left. We move around a little bit here, figuring out where we're going, what we're trying to do. Carriers and so forth still coming forward as well. Yeah, those Lurkers firing, a couple of Archons taking some shots. Interceptor's going to just fly on in there. A bunch of Lurkers going down. This is the issue. I mean, Rogue, you really use these Corruptors to put it working, but those are some good storms. It was a great time warp. Not sure this is a good enough fight for Rogue going into it initially. The Corruptors are just absolutely melting to the splash damage. 29 new Corruptors start up. That was not the fight at all. Well, like I say, you know what would be really nice? Some spellcasters. That was a horrible fight from Rogue. I actually can't iterate just how bad that is. Oh, pain, pain, pain. Alright, well, the carriers continuing through is going to knock down all the creep. I think this is the point where Rogue just loses a second fight, honestly. I don't think the rebuild's going to matter. That's all of his bank advantage completely gone, by the way. We'll have a few Lings and Hydras showing up on the right side to deny that base of MaxPax. MaxPax is actually just going to win this base off of 4 bases. Rogue did not need to take the fight there. And again, I absolutely think he could have just taken the time to improve his army. This was a completely unnecessary loss. This was the one way MaxPax wins it, right? One big fight that's very convincing. Version 2 of this looks a little bit better because the storms on the Corruptors are not quite as plentiful. Well, can Rogue do it with the rebuild? I still think he's completely outnumbered. As these Corruptors, can they just do enough? 2 more carriers going down, 100 supply each. It's fairly close, but there's not really a ground army. Observer still exists, so we are going to be able to knock down a couple of Lurkers, and the Corruptors are all gone with carriers still in the sky, so that is in fact going to be enough. Falcon's still fighting, Hatchery taking damage. Just going to be seeing these Corruptors still coming through. A few Zealots coming around. There we go. Corruptors just going to go diving forward. Mothership would be getting hit. I was just gonna have ourselves odds continue to come through. A few drones are gonna be dropping. Rogue just didn't take the fight properly in the later game. I mean, that's all it comes down to. Kind of disappointing because I feel like the rest of this game was very well set up. Just did not do what he had to later on. And to absolutely actually have a chance in these later game fights, unfortunately. Top left, up one. Honestly, don't know if it was a great situation for him, but the fight was absolutely good enough, so the rest of it didn't really matter. In the top left, blue Protoss is MaxPax up 1-0 here against a Rogue. In the bottom right, our red Zerg. Alright guys, could be the last game of the day. And I'd just like to remind you, quick mention, that if you have enjoyed the games, do consider liking, subscribing, following, Prime subscribing, regular subbing, gift subbing, anything you can do to support the channels, support the stream, and support this tournament. This is a WardiTV event. This is money that is gathered from you guys supporting the stream, such as those subs, etc. So do check out the options to support, and even if it is just a like or a follow or whatever, really is super appreciated, guys. So one last mention, cheeky sellout opportunity of the day as our Nexus goes down the natural hatchery on the 6 o'clock here from Rogue. Yo, Phalanx, thank you so much for the 32-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Are we going to see another game kind of go that same way? I can't imagine Rogue is super hyped to play another game where it felt like it was going great and it all fell apart because he took a terrible fight, but maybe you can really look at that and figure out what he needs to change. Yo, Seacall, thank you so much as well for the Prime sub for the 6 months. Welcome back, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A little Chrono Boost on the Adept that's on its way out over here. Rogue moving over, Overlord coming about. Ling Speed is on the way from the spawning pool. The 2 Lings of Rogue going to come moving out as well. So they're just going to head to the center of the map here right about now. Single drone going to come across toward the third as well. Again, Ling Speed coming through. Stargate is a building. Getting that on the way up. Morling is still moving through from Rogue. The Lings start to nibble at those probes, so we go back and forth there for a few moments. Speed's about to finish here. Rogue has a few more Lings that are currently defending against the depths. That becomes much easier with Ling Speed, of course, and MaxPax. Knowing that, knowing the timings, is already backing away from this one, is already falling out of positions. Just going to back it straight up. Again, a Gateway coming through, the Oracle coming up. Warp Gate is still building up and online. All these next few moments. Drones continue to come in, and that hatch coming up as well. Oracle still moving down the bottom side here. It's going to be coming across for now. It's going to activate and actually going to get a couple of drones. So MaxPax will be the first to really draw blood here, which is pretty typical. I was going to say, not so good if we lose the Oracle already. But the Oracle just about is able to get out. Warp Gate is finishing. A couple of Assimilate is coming down and on track. Those few Lings, just going to get back onto this set of rocks as well. Just going to get that up and rolling. Plus, you open up these rocks and you get access to this base already. That's amazing for Rogue. A great access point for him. And he is making a lot more Lings. I think a lot more than MaxPax is necessarily kind of thinking of dealing with here. As MaxPax revelates, he does not see the lack of drones on the natural. He sees all the drones on the third base. But yeah, none on the natural. That's the info he is missing right now as he tries to come around. Now he's going to see that there's just nothing here at all. Revelates and he realizes, oh my goodness, there's nothing. And so what does he do? Well, he's already got Lings in his base because they came through the rocks and then through the minerals. So he's already in a little bit of trouble as Rogue is going to catch MaxPax a little bit unguarded. Now more Lings are going to be showing up, and that third base immediately in trouble. A few Lings in the main just going to try for an assimilator. I love it, just splitting Lings off absolutely everywhere to cause ultra chaos as much as possible. How much can Rogue continue to do with this over these next few moments? As we do have this Nexus finishing up. It's only 4 probes killed. Rogue did start droning behind it at least, so he's had a little bit of follow-up coming through. Again, that Oracle popping up, a couple extra gates, and the Forge coming online. These few Lings still chasing more probes down. Melee upgrade and the Balin speed coming out on the side of Rogue, and that means that we're ready for the next stage of this, which is going to be continued into obviously pretty Ling heavy. We'll obviously have the Ling Bane just support across the board here. Extra gates coming up, the Baneling Nest is still coming through. Lings and the +1 melee upgrade continue to come by. Even though these Lings haven't done much more, they've kept a lot of the units at home. The 4th Oracle was made, 5th Oracle was made. These are all costs from MaxPax and things that you're not doing elsewhere on the map, right? If you make 5 Oracles, it'd be amazing if they could be out on the map doing things, but they've just not been. So while it's not maybe been the most damage from Rogue, there are a lot of indirect inconveniences he's caused to MaxPax with his build now being thrown off a big way from what it usually would be as well. Definitely a lot of different things to look at there. Lings put back over the left side. Stalker going after the Overlord. Let's get down the bottom. Just going to see our Lings coming back over. Charge gates, Robo Templar Archives coming through. The +1 attack is halfway done. Bane's just going to crash in. Battery goes down. A few probes are going to get crashed into as well. Oh, this is going to be a third base that needs defending by these Oracles. Lings are in the main base again. Oh, this gap here and just access through is just very well abused so far by Rogue. Now, he does mega damage. 15 probes dead. Actually going to get a Stalker here as well. These couple of Banes are going to finish. They're going to go to the low ground. He actually gets rid of the Adept, so it's only Zealots that can really fight those Banelings. And that means 2 of them will reach the mineral line to take it to 25 workers killed. Well, Rogue just going to continue to stream Ling Bane across the map. Ling's coming across, Banes are morphing. And I don't think he's wrong to do so. I mean, MaxPax is on his way to charge, so he's trying to build Zealots, but obviously Zealots are not exactly the most defensive units against the Banelings. That's the issue. The Banelings, against the Lings, yeah, the Zealots can be great, but against the Banelings, the Zealots just have a bad time. Right now, there's not enough Zealots anyway, so they're getting fully surrounded, they're getting cleaned up. Rogue is about to guarantee himself first place in this group by taking a single nap. That's all he needs to be first in the group and to go straight to the quarterfinals. It looks as though he's done it here, and there it is. Confirmation as MaxPax says GG. Rogue is going to take game number 2, and we are tied up. We are going to go to game 3. We're going to get what happens as we have in the top left-hand corner. Our blue Protoss player, it is MaxPax. He let that last game just get away from him, and that's what Rogue, our red Zerg in the bottom right, is so good at doing. Quirky little games, things that get away from you, things that don't quite go the way they're meant to go. All that kind of goodness, that is what Rogue really does excel at a lot of the time. Well then, we have our Overlords setting out on the map. Our probe is here to do the typical scout and harass of the mineral line. Let me get that underway from the start. The drone does go a nibbling. Well, drone gonna come about for the probe. Probe getting chased away. Cybercore Nexus all coming up. Probe again, just doing what probe should do. Now, what's up, Jack Bird and PCE? Thank you so much for the 4-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it. Taking a moment to rest the voice a little bit at the start of this. We've been casting for about 6.5 hours straight. So, just take a moment. It's been a busy, long day. It's been fun. It has been good games, though. It's been very fun games. Very, very fun set of matches. Now that Stargate is on the way through. We are going to be seeing our Nexus building on that natural, getting that completed. And it is a couple of, well, moments here as the Adept moves out onto the map. A few lings gather up over on the left-hand side. Adept comes through. Apparently that's what I'm just going to say all the time today is I get excited up to 3 minutes deep. Let's go. Adept's going to fight. A couple of lings is going to get chased. One ling going down already. And the Oracle on the way up, so continue to be very standard for the moment. As the Adept shades, and the ling just going to get hit there. Just going to get chased back. Is on its way, so again, we'll follow that across the map because that's going to be our next exciting part of what goes on in this. Adepts will be there, lings get shoved backwards. Oracle still setting up in the middle, warp gate. Finishing up in just a few moments as well. Twilight Council also in production currently from MaxPax. 3 more gateways coming out. Get all of that on the go. Seeing this Oracle coming back around that right-hand side again. Twilight Council, a couple of the gates coming through. Probes on the way up. Queens, drones, spores. Everything being brought on into play right now. Oracle will try and do what it can. Currently sitting on the 3 kills. Gonna get another drone here. Just going to back away from the moment into the corner. Glaives very quickly from MaxPax. He's going to switch it up. We saw Glaives a couple games from Classic earlier, and against Rogue, Rogue just shut it down. And MaxPax make Glaives work for himself in this final game of the series. Again, a win for MaxPax secures him 2nd place in the group, while a loss will send him to 3rd place. 10 more drones coming out, our Nexus coming in. A couple more probes in production. Obviously waiting for that Resonating Glaives to be done. It's going to be our next main point of interest. We already have some Oracle and Adept harassment coming across to this side. So these a couple of units are going to move straight over here. A couple of Queens are going to be there. Try and push this back as well. With a Revelation coming down. Obviously information is key, so you can figure out where you want to commit to, where you might be shading to in the near future as well. Products facility built from MaxPax on the natural. The Adept still shading down to the bottom right hand side. The 4th base of Rogue sets up on that 6 o'clock position as well. These Adepts just going to keep moving by. Queens started being some trouble. The Lings started to run forwards, and there goes, I was going to say, there goes the Queen, but actually the transfusions are good. However, the Lings die. This is mostly just Queen DPS at the moment. As the Adepts shade up, they're going to get quite a few drones from the main base. So that's where a good amount of damage comes from. These Adepts on the low ground not really doing much at all. And these Adepts going to continue to go as they pick off even more of these drones. Some more workers are dropping. Adepts still trying to fight against those roaches. We do see more Adepts turn back around from the natural. Oracle's going to come over. They're going to activate onto these roaches as well. 1 roach going down. 2nd roach going down. Spore Crawler's going to try and fight back. I mean, 14 drones is already incredible damage from MaxPax. He put himself in a great spot here. He's ahead by about 9 workers. And Rogue doesn't really have an army to go across the map and fight with, so this is pretty much him narrowed into the only choice he has, which is to drone. and to just try and recover the economy lost and to try and play the game from here. But that's going to be tough as MaxPax on his way to blink and +1. He's already thinking about the next step of this game, which is going to be how he continues to put some pressure on the field. Blink, very efficient way to trade. And of course, with that +1, the Blink Stalkers can do so much. And they'll have so much mobility as well, so it can really allow you to push back onto the map once again. That's what we are currently heading toward, as these two Oracles come down the right-hand side. Just going to activate. Oracle's still just moving about a little bit here. You've seen the +1 missiles and Roach Speed coming up. More Roach is still coming in. Infestation Pit coming on through too. And Prism +2 attack. And Blink still coming in as our Stalkers and Sentries settle down into the center for a bit of a push. We actually even have a reinforcing Immortal with this as well. I imagine that's an Immortal that was made initially just in case of a Roach counterattack, but that never came about, so now we just add it into this army, which MaxPax apparently is not afraid of moving onto the map with. Stalkers, Sentries, and the Immortal gathering onto the bottom side. A few more Stalkers will warp in. Force field's already down. Going to trap a couple of these Ravagers toward the front. Stasis Ward catches a few Lings already. Corrosive Vials going to, for the most part, be missing. This one actually missed the Stalker, which got out of the way, but Sentry moved into position. As MaxPax continues to try and take this trade, that one Immortal, as long as it's standing here, is obviously going to clunk through some Roaches, and as long as that's the case, it's going to make the Stalker's life a lot easier, but it can't blink, but it can jump into the Prism, and that's how it's going to save itself there. As that is a defense for the moment out of Rogue, he is going to push MaxPax's first wave of army back, now finishing up his own +1 missile upgrade, so that's going to help him in the future. Nice. Just going to be seeing our Stalkers continue to move through. Ling Roach Ravage continue to come about. And again, charge +2 attack coming in. The Hive coming up. Hydra Den coming in as well. Just going to continue to come through here as we do see an army of MaxPax coming in from this left-hand side. Roach Ravager pushes up, and that obviously allows you to keep chasing this away. Stasis Ward will go off. Actually would have had that Corrosive Bile as MaxPax will finish his +2 attack upgrade, meaning that he's going to have the ability to just trade a little bit more efficiently once again. The upgrade lead back in his favor. Hive building on the main base of Rogue. The Lurker Den is on the way out. Roof Spine's coming up on the Hydra Den as well as our Zerglings go around the right-hand side. I like this run by. It seems like it's got potential here, although Stalkers are quick to blink across toward it. That's fine. Obviously, it's nice for Rogue to keep trying those things. Doesn't necessarily find success every time, as we do find one Adept there that's going to get cleaned out. Any Adepts that randomly show up can be deadly because they've got Glaive still, so they kill workers very quickly, even if it's just one or two getting into a mineral line for a few moments. And absolutely, I say deadly. Obviously, at this point in the game, a few workers like that is anything but deadly, but deadly to the few drones that it meets. And obviously, a few drones are still better than no drones, if it is not as major of an impact as it would have been earlier in the game. Robo Bay, Temple Archives, both in production here with a fifth base now from MaxPax, so continue to tech towards some splash damage. These Ravagers get donated to the Save a Protoss Fund. We actually only take one of them though. Protoss doing pretty good nowadays, they don't even need both the Ravagers. Unbelievable. The way times change, huh? As a couple of creep teamers continue to spread outwards onto the map. Another revelation. And Hydras, Ravagers, Roaches, Lings all getting tracked about. These units are going to start backing it up a little bit as well. +1 armor about to finish, +3 attack is on the way. Now Fuzel's going to go into the hatchery already, so just going to start picking through that as our Stalkers get back onto this, and a few Lings are going down. Drones are taking damage also. As Zealot gets picked off on that right-hand side. In the main base, it is going to be the Prism coming through, and a couple of these Zealots getting active onto those Lings. MaxPax once again bringing the pressure across the map. Storm coming through as the +3 attack, +2 armor continues from MaxPax as well. We blink across to the left-hand side. A few of these creep tumors going down. Storm is still on the way. Our Roach Hydra trying to get a wrap around here. These couple of Immortals going to get chased out of there as well. One Immortal going down. The other will fall too. However, there's a lot more going on than this. The Zealots rampaging through the main base. There's a few of them going to deny this base that could have been cancelled here from Rogue as well. And I think there's starting to be just a little bit too much going on around the map. Rogue is taking some losses he doesn't necessarily need to. Like I say, missing the cancel on the right side. He's not dealing with the main base very well at all. And obviously MaxPax's army is only getting better with Storm on the horizon. Well, it's going to be cloudy days ahead for Rogue, it seems like. Because I don't think he's got the proper protection to deal with Storm at this stage. I mean, he's getting up to Lurkers, so he's going to have those, yes. But just taking so much damage means that rebuilding is going to be tough. And usually the thing about Storm is, like, you're going to get some good Storms. They're going to trade well. So the Zerg needs to be able to, like, go rebuild those units that get Storm nice and quickly. Without that kind of throwaway potential, that bank to rebuild with, it's just going to be so tough unless Rogue can make it happen on this one big push. Forcing the issue against Storm isn't fun either. And that's the other problem, as you walk into the, walk across the map, you're essentially walking into Storms. And that lets them do maximum damage at this point. Move up to the top. Hydras will go for the battery. Lurkers will burrow up again. Robotics facility in some trouble. 5 probes going down, 5 drones going down. On the other side of the map, our Stalkers will pick through the hatch. Hatch will fall. So actually just going to say as MaxPax, he's like, I'm going to enter a little bit of a base trade. It's an interesting choice, because I don't know if he necessarily needs to base trade, but one of those things as well where Rogue's army's not great at base trade, and I think MaxPax just says I've got enough infrastructure to really benefit from this. The longer this gets drawn out, the more my income advantage comes into play. And if I end up scrapping here and there, that's generally better for my army, because it's very tough for you to split the Lurkers. The scary part of your army right now is the Lurkers in a mass. The less Lurkers that are all together at once, the more I can actually probably fight them, even if it's with a smaller army myself. As you just see MaxPax able to keep on pressuring up this ramp onto this base. He has lost his natural. That's pretty much the only action going on for Rogue right now on the other side at this stage. MaxPax pulls it back with this little force. The Lurkers move up into the main here. It's not easy for MaxPax to deal with that, however. We're going to recall in. We're going to have a Void Ray. We're just going to send this. Do we have the detection? Yes, we do. The Lurkers start to drop the Zealots from up the ramp. And the main base attack is going to go down. And Rogue just says that that's good enough. Congratulations, MaxPax. That is going to be GG's. MaxPax takes it 2-1 over Rogue to secure second place in the group.